We are 80 days to the 2026 FIFA World Cup that is going to be hosted by Morocco, Mexico, and Canada. And equally to tell you that with Iran's appeal for her games to be pushed to Mexico, as of now, FIFA has not responded to this particular appeal by Iran. Good evening to you and welcome to Sports Box on Royal Television. With me, Sonny Tangunyi, for presentation. And today we are going to be talking about a lot of things that are happening in the domain of sport, be it basketball, be it the individual players that are making waves in their clubs, and equally what is happening in the Lions Den. Mind you that with the March FIFA Series tournament coming up, Team Cameroon is already gearing up towards this particular competition. And equally, we are going to be looking at the Southwest Regional League, Northwest, and equally the West Region. These and more are the things that we are going to be looking on today's edition of Sport Box. We take on this break. When we come back, we'll begin our sports program. You're welcome back, and if you are just joining us, you're watching Sport Box on Royal Television, and for presentation is the name that you are supposed to remember all the times, Sonny Tangunyi, for today's program. And equally, let's talk about what is happening with the under-17 basketball team of Cameroon. I tell you that the under-17 basketballers of Cameroon are preparing for the FIBA World Cup that is going to be hosted there in Turkey. And as it stands now, the boys are doing everything possible to make sure that the I's are dotted, the T's are cut ahead of this particular competition. Mind you, with just 97 days to this particular competition, things are already underway for the basketball team of Cameroon for the under-17 category, and equally away from basketball, and equally the FIBA World Cup Championship that is coming up. Let's talk about what FIFA equally has said concerning female coaches or female national teams, and the rule says that every country must have at least 2 or 3 more coaches on the touchline, and this is a way to create an equilibrium in terms of women participation in the game of football. And let's take a listen to this particular compilation that was done to us by Kusana Claudia Voma in terms of what FIFA has said concerning women on the touchline.
The global football governing body is intensifying its commitment to gender equality by advocating for more women to take up head coaching and technical role positions traditionally dominated by men. This initiative reflects FIFA's broader vision of ensuring that women are not only visible in football leadership structures, but are actively shaping the game from the touchline. The move comes amid growing calls for inclusivity across all levels of football, especially in coaching, where women representation remains significantly low despite the rapid growth of women's game. By emphasizing technical leadership, FIFA aims to inspire a new generation of female coaches and break long-standing barriers within the sports.
And yes, in a bid to increase female participation in the game of football, FIFA has said, according to what they said yesterday, that at least 2 or 3 women are supposed to be in each national team. And this is a way to create equilibrium, bring more women into the game of football. And mind you, women will always have their place in this prestigious game. And away from that rule from FIFA, let's talk about what is happening in the Lions Den. Mind you, we are few days to the Australia clash against the inevitable Lions of Cameroon, where we already have some Lions that are already in Cindy over there in the Australia. We have the likes of Mongang Emmanuel, Coach David Pagu, and some of his members from the technical team that are already there. The likes of Ahmad K. Kandem, Jackson Chatua, Michael Fernandez, Conward Infeni, and Emmanuel Mongang Ngum. Meanwhile, as tomorrow Tuesday, the likes of Achim Vom, Epasi, Olivier Kamen, Christian Kofanem, Simon Gapende, Ryan Gloafoso, Brian Bremo, Blondie Nuku, Kevin Kebeng, Saidu Alium, and Carl Toko, Carl Eta Eyarada. Why not? Will be waited as the hours continue to clock. And mind you that this particular regrouping, it's in preparation of the FIFA Winners Tournament that is going to be played on the 27th of March against Australia in Sydney. Meanwhile, on the 31st of March, Cameroon will clash against China for this particular tournament. And equally for development about Brian Bremo, he will not be joining this particular squad that was why not selected by Coach David Pagu because of some injuries. And these are some of the developments so far in terms of the Lions. That, and equally to reiterate the fact that the likes of Basogo, Nuru Tolo, Carlos Baleba were not called up for this particular regrouping for the FIFA match tournament for this particular competition. We are hoping that with the new lads, especially for the local players that were called up to join this particular squad, they are going to be given a chance. And with that chance, we are hoping that they are going to create a name for themselves in this particular tournament. And equally away from the inevitable Lions then who are already in Australia preparing for their game, let's talk about we have other countries too that are preparing for this particular competition, where we have a list of other countries like South Africa, Kenya, Tanzania, Senegal equally, who have already sent out or published their various squad lists ahead of this particular competition. Not forgetting the Super Eagles of Nigeria, Tunisia, Bafanas of South Africa, to tell you that the ball has been set rolling for the FIFA match tournament. And equally away from that, let's take a look at what is happening with the official website of CAF. Mind you, after the board of disciplinary committee of CAF equally brought out the decision to overturn Senegal of their 2025 African Cup of Nations title, giving it to Morocco on the pretext of official 3-0. CAF has equally updated her website, putting Morocco as the winner of the 2025 African Cup of Nations, Senegal as runner-ups of this particular competition. But to reiterate the fact that as it stands now, the appeal filed in by the Senegalese Football Federation has not yet, the verdict is still to be declared. But as it stands now, that is what is happening with the CAF website. Away from that, let's travel on to our player further, looking at the various players, precisely Cameroonian footballers who are making waves in their various clubs. Before we get to unbox our player folders, equally we have players from the MTN Elite World Championship. Let's take on this short break, and when we come back, we'll talk about individual performance so far. And yes, if you are joining us just now, you're on Royal Television watching Sports Boxer with me, Sonita Ngunye. Before the break, we told you that we are going straight away to look at individual performance so far for Cameroonian international, why not local players that are creating names for themselves. And on the number 1 player list is Christopher Wu, Cameroonian international defender, who picked up a second consecutive man of the match for FK Orenburg against when they had a clash against Sparta Moscow, which ended on a 2-0 victory in favor of his side. And equally to reiterate the fact that last game against Dynamo Moscow, it was still Christopher Wu who picked up the man of the match for the Russian Cup. Mind you that Christopher Wu continues to be a household name. Many people will remember him against the qualifier for the 2025 African Cup of Nations in Ghana, where he came in with that header to give Cameroon 3 points over there at the Rumdaja. Mind you, we were talking almost the end of this particular game, and Christopher Wu came in to assist the attackers, fighting a beautiful header, and he continues to make strikes in his club. Away from Christopher Wu, let's talk about another mighty defender, fondly called the Wall of Jericho, and that it's no other person than Che Malone, where Che Malone playing for Alger are through to the semi-finals of the Total Energies Cup Confederations Cup after a 1-0 victory, putting a total on aggregate 2-1. And mind you that this away victory from Alger takes them through to the semi-finals of the Confederations Cup. We want to say congratulations to Chamberlain and his entire team for this milestone. And equally to reiterate on the fact that he is part of the list that was selected by Coach Mark Breeze ahead of the Australia and China clash that is going to be played in the days ahead. Away from Chamberlain, let's talk about Christian Kofana. Many people remember the name against the just ended 2025 African Cup of Nations. 2 goals onto his name, and not just 2 goals, but 2 excellent long strikes goals from Christian Kofana. And as it stands now for this particular lad, he is now valued at 40 million by transfer market. As it stands now, the Bayern Leverkusen striker in March 2025 was valued at 200,000 euros, and as it stands now, he is at a total of 40 million so far. What a strike from Christian Kofana to tell you that indeed the football runs in the Lions' den. And equally away from Christian Kofana, let's talk about Danny Namaso, where he is, or he equally picked up the man of the match, where they won 3-0 over Breeze there. And mind you, playing for Orizek in the AJ Orizek so far, the Cameroonian midfielder netted the winner at the 20th minute to the end of a regular time to be able to secure 3 points for his side in the French League 1 game. And equally away from Danny Namaso, it is Fabrice Undwa, our 2027 AFCON winner. Mind you, he has not had a very good run in terms of this particular season for his side. And equally to reiterate the fact that Fabrice Undwa recently just joined his new side, and unfortunately for him, he has not had a good run. But mind you that he kept his second clean sheet of the season after they were relegated from their first second division competition. Away from Fabrice Undwa, let's talk about another goalkeeper, Andre Onana. Mind you, with the international break here, Andre Onana was seen in the stands at the military stadium over there in Guayaquil, where he was the MTN Elite One Championship, counting from March the 11th. He watched the game between Color Sportive of Nja and Lobo and Victoria United at the Guayaquil military stadium. Away from Andre Onana, let's come back to Cameroon to talk about one of the biggest, highest goal scorer, consistent player so far, leaving the Southwest Regional League, playing for College University. He goes to Victoria United, becomes the highest goal scorer of the Cameroon Cup, and equally leaves Victoria United, goes to Islip Sports Academy, becomes one of the best players in that particular team, leaves Islip Sports Academy, and is now settled with the doors from the south, Colombe Sportive of Nja and Lobo. And yes, he was particularly a very good, or he was instrumental in the game where they won 4-1 against Victoria United, giving in 2 assists. And we are talking about Njuma Ekose Conrad so far. For many people who know the latter, they will tell you that Njuma Ekose Conrad is one of the most consistent players that we have in the MTN Elite One Championship, despite the fact that he had an injury that kept him off the bench for a very long time. But we have in Juma again that has decided to strike back with 2 assists in their 4-1 victory over Victoria United over there in Yaoundé. And that is it in terms of what we had for our player folders of this particular edition of Sport Box. And equally, we are going straight away to look at what is happening with the Northwest Regional League, West Regional League, Southwest Regional League before we talk about the Elite One Championship. We'll take on this little break. When we come back, we'll talk about the various regional leagues so far, what is happening with them, and which are the teams that are already grabbing points, and which are the teams that have failed to at least get 1 point after 1, 2, 3 days of play.
Hey, Royal TV viewers, your voice matters, and now we want to hear it louder than ever. We've created a special WhatsApp feedback group just for you. Got opinions about our shows? Suggestions to make Royal TV better? Compliments, complaints, or hot takes? This is your direct line to us. Joining is easy. Simply scan the QR code on your screen right now and you're instantly connected to the Royal TV community. Be part of the conversation. Influence our programs. Help shape the future of your favorite TVs.
And yes, let's go straight away to the West region of Cameroon to discover what is perusing through the West Regional League. Mind you, with Sable de Betty picking up a qualification ticket to the MTN Elite 2 Championship, the big question is, at the end of the 2025-2026 West Regional League, who is going to, why not pursue the same journey like Sable de Betty? And it's on this note that we get to look at match day 1 result, rather match day 3 result of the West Regional League so far. Looking at the teams that were able to pick out victories, defeat, or why not draw. And on the first game they played in terms of the 3rd day of the West Regional League, we have the likes of Mangata that was defeated by Fuvo of Baham 6-0, followed by Razad Noon equally defeating Fundi of Fichu de Bafusam 6-0. The likes of National de Bafam picked up a draw against Jeunesse La Concorde, while we have the likes of New Star de Bameka that whitewash Futurist of Banjul of Santurada 9-1. Talang de Bafusam was defeated by Pimang de Bayangam 1-0. And we have the likes of Royal Football picking up a 1-1 draw against Colombe de where we have Nut de Football picked up a 1-1 draw against Fuku de Kumta. And we have the likes of Renaissance de Nun that trashed Jeunesse de Bangate 5-1. And it was AS Mindwa the Chang that picked up a 1-0 victory over Fed de Keke. While Tonga United was defeated by Fokang Junul 1-0. Royal de Inca picked up a 0-0 draw against Federal de Nul. Meanwhile, continuation for match day 3 will see Unité de Koutaba against Les Etoiles de Baham alongside Ensim de Bafoussam against Future Stars of Bafoussam in terms of the West Regional League so far. These are the results that you should have at the back of your mind for those that are following this particular league. Mind you, they are already on match day 3 of their own championship. Away from the West region, let us fly to the Northwest region of Cameroon to take a look of how match day 1 of this particular championship that was launched on the 12th of March 2026 at the Bamenda Proximity Stadium looked like. Mind you, a total of about more than 30 goals equally were scored on this particular match day 1 of the Northwest Regional League. Let's take a look at the various results so far, where we have the opening match of this particular season, the likes of Hilltop Strikers and Mankang United, where we had the likes of Mankang United that defeated Hilltop Strikers 5-1, followed by Rockland FC defeating Okada Union. Rather, it was a draw for this particular game, where the game Option Sports and Elibelt didn't play because Option Sport was present and Elibelt were absent. And we have the likes of Mike Soccer against Elite Sport, where Mike Soccer defeated Elite Sport 2-1. And All Stars and Momo United split the points after a 2-2 draw. Same as Vision Sports against Ngofak of Nwum, who split the points after a 0-all time. Kumbu Strikers against Race of Hope. We saw Race of Hope being defeated 2-0. Rainbow FC picked up a 2-0 victory against Graphic Sports Academy. And it was another draw for Buffalo United and Abakwa Sports Academy after a 2-2 time, when Donga United defeated Family Warriors 1-0. And for those who have been following Family Warriors of the Northwest Regional League, they will tell you that last season, Family Warriors conceded up to, in a match, 18-0. And with this particular scoreline of 1-0, it tells you that Family Warriors went back to that drawing board for last football season and have now known how to peruse through the corridors of the Northwest Regional League, putting the fact that it was their debut for last season. So we are hoping that just like Wasapito here in the Southwest region, we have Family Warriors in the Northwest region that their net or their poles rather are always very wide to concede more goals. And away from that particular education or reiteration so far about Family Warriors, we continue with the Northwest Regional League results so far for Master 1, where we have the likes of Young Sports Academy that picked up a 0-0 draw against Itabong. Then ask me what Young Sport Academy is doing in the Northwest Regional League, despite the fact that they sent in an appeal, and up to date, the Football Federation, Cameroon Football Federation, has never responded. But as it stands now, they are currently participating in the Northwest Regional League, hoping that one day, Young Sports Academy will climb back not just to the MTN Elite 2 Championship, but regain her position equally to the MTN Elite 1 Championship, where they were relegated after whatever happened in the Douala. And equally, we take on a break, but when we come back, we continue with the Southwest Regional League.
Don't just watch, interact, engage, be heard. Scan the code and join the Royal TV WhatsApp group now. When we dream alone, it is only a dream. But when many dream together, it is the beginning of a new reality. When we dream alone, it is only a dream. But when many dream together...
And yes, continuation of the Northwest Regional League, we have the likes of Achiko Football Academy, one of the academies there in the Northwest region that are gradually gaining grounds in terms of football in that particular bureau, where they defeated, Rising Stars defeated them 2-1. In Kwan FC, Trash Sima 5-2, while Samisa defeated Grassfield United 2-1. So far, this is how much they won of the Northwest Regional League that was launched on the 12th of March 2026 looked like. And equally, away from the Northwest Regional League, let us now settle in the Southwest Regional League of Cameroon, where Match Day 2 recorded a total of 33 goals so far scored, with the likes of Kamjo and Kumba Lakers scoring more than 4 goals in one game against their opponent. And away from that, let's take a look at some of the games that played at the Moliko Main Sports Stadium, where we had the likes of Elect Sport that defeated Al Jazeera Sports Academy of Moyoka 2-1. And let's go through that particular game and look at what the two coaches had to say after 90 minutes of play.
It's true that we won 3 points again, but the truth should be spoken that our performance was not up to standard. You know, a team that is having ambition, this great project is not only winning. You have to win convincingly. But today our performance was very, very average. There was a lot of tactical indiscipline. You know, the way I wanted them to play, the concern that I gave them to apply for this game, they did not respect it. So as a coach that want people, the population of Southwest to watch beautiful football, this is not what we planned for. You know, it's not our opponent that we are going to have tougher opponents. But if we continue to play like this, it's not every day we'll meet Al Jazeera. So we are hoping for a very, very big games ahead. So I think we have to step up. For us to meet up with our general objective, which is to represent the region, we have to really step up.
Our academy is out to bring the young ones up. So we are not going to test it in scores. We want that development first of all before I think the score. It's just starting. Actually, you know me personally, things will happen. My ambition is I'm preparing the boys to play competitions. If we succeed, we can play the mini captains. Why not the Cameroon Cup? Because we are going to.
And that is Coach Mbiroke, who tells you that their ambitions will remain the same, especially with the fact that they have to make sure that they participate in the Cup of Cameroon. And equally, that defeat against Elect Sport doesn't weigh their objectives, but rather gives them more reason to continue pushing. And away from that game between Elect Sports and Al Jazeera Sports Academy of Moyoka, where we had the likes of Elect Sport that defeated Al Jazeera 2-1. Let's look at the game between Sinodef and James Soccer Academy, where it was Sinodef equally that picked up their first victory of the season. Let's take to that game and look at what Intui Ben had to tell us after this particular game ended at the Moliko Main Sports Stadium.
I'm telling you, as I told you last time, that we are working, it's a work in progress. This is an academy. We are working to build the players for the future. And they are discovering the competition day by day. And as you can see, we have some improvement as per the last game. Yeah, it's just that the guys were very naive in front of the pole. We are working towards that. We always work in front of the pole during training sessions, but during matches you have a little bit of pressure, and since they are still young players, the pressure is making them not to play as we wish. But we just do believe that in future they will play the way we want. In essence, I'm a satisfied man because if you see today, our team is divided into two because we have another game tomorrow. We are playing the elite under 17. Since our players are very young players, that's why you see we hurry up, we're hastening up to replace some players so that they can get a little rest for tomorrow.
I just joined this academy last year, so this is my second season with them. And history has been repeating itself over and over. But this season, as the news is out that we have won our first game after 5 or 6 seasons, so I'm still struggling to come up with a good team to actually face the competition. But the team so far is better than what I had.
And yes, Dream Soccer tells you that despite the fact that they are known to be losers in this particular championship, and out of 6 games, they have won only 1, considering last football season. And this year, they will continue to work hard, especially with the fact that they now have a different squad. And we are hoping that with what Agbo Freeze had said in respect to Dream Soccer changing the narratives for this particular football season, our fingers are crossed to see what Dream Soccer will deliver. Away from that game between Sino Dev and Dream Soccer, let's talk about one of the most interesting games for match day 2 of the Southwest Regional League. And we are talking about Boya City Football Club and newcomers Summer Sports Academy. I tell you, it was the one to stand and clap, especially for Summer Sports young footballers who had to give us enticing football from the first minute of play right up to the last minute. An interesting game for them, but unfortunately, it was a very, very 90-minute plus equalizer, or rather goal from Boya City to grab all 3 points. Let's take you to the Moliko Miss Sports Stadium, giving you a little bit of highlight of what transpired with that particular game, and equally the 2 coaches' reaction after 90 minutes of play.
unfortunate that we started training late. We have trained for basically for 1 week. We trained for 1 week before the first game. Now it's rather unfortunate that we lost the first game. We were prepared to come in for the second game stronger than ever before.
Really?
Yeah, you are very correct. During the first segment, we dominated the game to an extent. We'll say 90%. But during the second segment, my guys, delayed instead of progressing with the ball. Instead, they were playing behind. Instead of passing through the flank to make a cross and get the goal, we were playing behind rather. Because of God, as we planned that this match today was the must-win game, and God answered our prayers.
Actually, what I would say is football is actually difficult because it demands a lot of elements to put things in place to make it work. So it has to do with sacrifices and determination, confidence, hard work. The match of today is actually an eye-opening for us, and we have been able to see the lapses and some weaknesses playing against a tough side, Boya City. But notwithstanding, we try to make things happen. At one time, the players lose concentration in front of the goal as we lost so many chances. And it happened that we take over the game as well in the second half, but we were unable to score. I want to believe that football being a difficult thing, something that you have to always go back to your drawing board. We'll go back there and see how we can put things in place and let things work out.
The watchword for the two coaches is the fact that they will have to go back to the drawing board and recorrect some of these mistakes that you all discovered on the pitch from the both side. Nevertheless, I want to applaud Summer Sports Academy for the stage they actually demonstrated against Boya City Football Club in terms of match day 2 of the Southwest Regional League. Away from this game, let's take a look at an overall result so far for the Southwest Regional League match day 2. Mind you, games equally were played in Mamfe, Kumba, Limbe, and here in Boya. Let's take a look at the teams that were able to score the entire 33 goals at match day, 33 goals, yes, that match day 2 recorded so far for this particular championship, where on the first position is the likes of Al Jazeera Sports Academy that was defeated by Elect Sport 4 goals to 2, followed by Dream Soccer beaten by Sinodeb 1 goal to 0, while Boya City defeats Summer Sport 2 goals to 1, and a tie against Mount Cameroon and Ates. Kamjo Sport beat Rising Stars 5 goals to 0, while Option Sports Academy picks up 3 points after defeating Destiny Restoration 2 goals to 0. A good day for Talented Football Academy as she defeats Best Stars at the Moliko Mill Sports Stadium 1 goal to 0. And the likes of Boya United was trashed by Fako United 2 goals to 1. We're talking about the Elephants and the Mountain Boys. Kumba Lakers defeat APA Football Academy 5 goals to 2. And meanwhile, Wasapito was defeated by Future Dreams 3 goals to 0, and the likes of Manu United against Legend Football Club. So far, these are the number of teams that actually picked up victories. Mind you, 10 victories and 1 draw, with a total of 33 goals recorded for the Southwest Regional League. A peculiarity that was identified in terms of match day 2 of the Southwest Regional League, where despite the fact that clubs know the importance of first aid, they still come to the field without first aid equipment. Talking about the game, Summer Sports Academy and the likes of Boya City, where we had an incident they occurred with one of the midfielders of Boya City picking up an injury. Thanks to the Southwest Africa Food Regional Bureau, where they were able to have the Red Cross present on the pitch to assist these clubs, it would have been a different story to talk about. The fact that we keep educating clubs to have first aid equipment, they always underestimate or undermine this particular aspect of this particular issue. And we are hoping that with this education all the times, clubs, especially here in the Southwest region, are going to look into this particular issue, because that player went home limping and with no solution from the club. It was thanks to the assistance of the Red Cross that he was even able to move that leg. We are urging clubs to always have first aid boxes full with equipment, that even if it has to get to the extent of blood oozing out from a player's leg or arms or head, at least a first aid assistance should be done before he or she is carried to the hospital. But every year we keep having this particular issue, and mind you, it's war time with them, because as of March Day 3, we are going to be bringing to you images of how when a player falls on the pitch, you find the medical manager of the team rushing to go and take care of that player with what? A bottle of water. And you ask yourself, if it's a spring, is it a bottle of water that is going to heal this particular player? We will bring to you these images so that you should see what is happening on the pitch. And away from this particular result of March Day 2 of the Southwest Regional League, let's take you to the fixtures so far of March Day 3 of the most mediatized, most talked about league, which is the Southwest Regional League. And equally, fixture 1 of March Day 3 is going to see the likes of Best Stars Academy clash against Rising Stars FC, and that game is going to be played tomorrow at the Uniform Stadium at exactly 2 p.m. Meanwhile, still tomorrow, Sport Football Academy will welcome a test, and that game is going to be played at exactly 4 p.m. at the same stadium. Meanwhile, here in Boya, the likes of Manu FC will clash against Boya City Football Club at exactly 2 p.m. Meanwhile, on Thursday, the likes of James Soccer Academy against Mount Cameroon. And let's go to fixture 2 of the Southwest Regional League, March Day 3, where we have the likes of Summer Sports Academy. That is on Thursday, March 26, 2026 at the UB Field. Summer Sports will welcome Option Sports Academy of Limbe, and that game is going to be played at 2 p.m. Meanwhile, on Sunday, the 29th of March 2023 and 26, Sinadef will welcome Kamjo Sport 2 p.m. Paco United will clash against Talented Sports Academy 4 p.m. Meanwhile, in Kumba at the JPS School Field, the likes of Wasa P2FF will clash against Epia Football Academy at 11 a.m. Meanwhile, on Sunday, Kumba Lakers Football Academy will clash against Manu United, and Future Dreams will play against Legend Football Club Academy. So far, these are the fixtures for March Day 3 of the Southwest Regional League, which is going to run from tomorrow, Thursday, and Sunday to wind up crown March Day 3 of the Southwest Regional League. And away from that, let's talk about the MTN Elite One Championship. And equally, let's take you to Bamenda to look at what transpired with the likes of PWD of Bamenda, whom Ego Royal of the Menwa were defeating, were leading this particular game, and it was the likes of El Wood who came from the back to give in a beautiful finish for PWD of Bamenda to clinch 3 points out of this particular game. And let's take a look at some reactions from the coach and why not some players and equally the fans of PWG of Bamenda after 90 minutes of play at the Bamenda Proximity Stadium.
Yes, it was a very difficult game today, very difficult. You saw in the first half, we created many opportunities, but we could not put the ball in the back of the net because of wrong technique, wrong contact, surface contact with the ball and all of that. But we came up powerfully during the second half and we equalized and got the winner. You know, we tried to reorganize ourselves tactically. We switched from the 4-3-3 we were playing to a 3-5-2, which paid off in the game. Beating Egle today, we are very happy because it gives us 3 points. It will certainly readjust our position on the classification table. So yes, Tariko Awood has always been our joker. He has always been that kind of player who, when he comes in, brings the impact and the desired momentum that we want in the game. Today, it was not different. He put in all his energy and got that winning goal. And then we feel on his part, we know he's coming back gradually. He has some psychological difficulties, but gradually he's coming back into the game. We hope that with time he will pick up as fast as possible and go back to the scoring ways where he has been with our team so far. So we're very happy to have him back in our squad today. You see that during our last game he was lacking. His presence was felt in that midfield. You know, he plays a very important role for our team, keeping those balls and making those important passes at the last segment of the field is very important for us. He did that again today, and we are very satisfied. Even though he created chances where he couldn't score, we have the Bengono on his part. He's recovering from his injury. We hope that by the time we get to Douala next week, he will be 100% fit.
It's not be easy for us 3 consecutive defeats. It's not that easy, but we have been playing away, 3 defeats away. So our next game is at home. We'll go back one part so that we can at least win that game. 6 is at home. It's at home. We are having an advantage.
For the second time in less than 3 months, Egle has led here at the Province Stadium. PW coming from behind to win.
Yeah, same score like the last time. We knew what we were coming to make. We tried everything to do, but at the end, they overpowered us.
Okay.
From the down steps of the fans of PWD of Bamenda, you can indeed conclude that the Bamenda Proximity Stadium remains a theatre house for the Northwest Regional League flag bearer at the level of the MTN Elite One Championship. Mind you, this defeat for Egle Royal of the Menwa makes it 3 for them in a row. And the big question, just like one of their players earlier said, is that they will continue to work as the ambitions is equally for maintenance. And mind you, it was a reconnection for many of these players who are playing with Egle Royal of the Menwa, especially with the Bamenda population where they are from, and equally where they actually played for PWG of Bamenda. Talking of the likes of Njofu Bless, who was equally part of the PWG squad, but right now is playing for Egle Royal of the Menwa. And away from what transpired in the Northwest region, let's take a look at the partial results of the MTN Elite One Championship, where currently we have the likes of Canon Sportif of Yaoundé that is leading AS Fortuna in Yaoundé 1-0 as we speak. And mind you, this particular game counts for match day 10 of the MTN Elite One Championship. But let's give you partial results so far of the MTN Elite One Championship, where we have the likes of Colombe Sportive. We're talking about the results of the MTN Elite One Championship match day 11. Colombe that defeated Victoria United 4-1. Stade Renata beat Gazelle 4-1. Panthers Sportive equally was thrashed by Cotton Sport of Garwa 2-1. And PWG Bamenda defeats Egle Royal of the Menwa 2-1. Meanwhile, Football Zone was thrashed by Dynamo Football Club of Douala 1-0. And like we said, as it stands now, Canon is defeating AS Fortuna over there in Yaoundé at the Military Stadium 1-0. And we're talking the first segment of this particular game. Away from that, let's take a look at the standings of the MTN Elite One Championship so far, which club rather at the moment position has changed in terms of the classification table. Meanwhile, it is still Unisport at the helm of the MTN Elite One Championship classification table after 9 days of play, where she stands with 17 points, closely followed by Cotton Sports of Garwa with 16 points. PWD of Bamenda sits third with 15 points, Gazelle 15, Dynamo 14, Victoria United 14, Canon Sportive 12, Panther 11, Fortuna of Mfu 11, Colomb 10, Agro de la Menwa 9 points, Stade Renat 7, Fubuazu 7, and the bottom team is Agro Royal of the Menwa with of the Mongol rather, with standing at the last position with just 6 points on the classification table. And away from that, let's take a look at the fixtures so far of March day 12 of the MTN Elite One Championship so far. Meanwhile, on Tuesday at the Bafang Stadium, you are going to be having the likes of Unisport of Hunkam against Cotton Sport of Garwa, and that game is going to be played at 6 p.m. Meanwhile, at the Unisport Stadium in Yaoundé, Canon Sportive will welcome Gazelle Football Club of Garwa. Sunday, 29th of March, at the Bamazi Stadium over there in the West Region, Aigle Royal of the Menwa against Cup holders Colomb Sportive of Inja and Lobo. Meanwhile, at the Melong Stadium at exactly 3 p.m., Aigle Royal of the Mongo against Panther Sportive of Inde. Meanwhile, in Douala at the Bamenda, the Bepanda Annex Stadium, Dynamo of Douala will welcome the Abakwa Boys of PWD of Bamenda. Meanwhile, in Ngeme, Victoria United will welcome Stade Renat of the Melon at exactly 3 p.m. Meanwhile, in Yaoundé Annex Stadium 1 Omisport, AS Fortuna against Fubuazu at exactly 4 p.m. So far, these are the fixtures of March day 12 of the MTN Elite One Championship. And let us crown today's edition with what transpired or the verdict of the finals of the Super Cup. For those who did not know, the finals of the Super Cup didn't finish. Why? Because you had a penalty that was awarded to Panther Sportive of Inde, and equally that penalty was not taken because Coach Richard Tora and his boys equally walked out of the pitch, claiming that the penalty wasn't a penalty. And right up to that moment, it is now that the disciplinary committee for Fecafoot has brought out their verdict. And as it stands now, it is 30 million francs that has been fined to Colomb Sportive of Enja and Lobo, with their coach, Richard Tora, suspended for 6 good months and fined a total of 5 million francs CFA. Mind you, the club has been fined 30 million francs, coach fined 6 months suspension with 5 million francs to pay, alongside players like the captain of the club, Randy Ture, the likes of Dilo Luka, the likes of Cedric Landin Jomo, Hamid Hamza, Nzimbi Fangi Patrick, David Jr., Zambo, Malcolm Beleg, and Bella Lima, Steve, all suspended. And that is the Fecafoot disciplinary committee verdict that of what transpired at the finals of the Super Cup in Yaoundé so far. The big question is, with Richard Towa still mingling in terms of the 10 bottom teams of the MTN Elite One Championship, now facing 6 months suspension from duties. Is Colombe Sportif Alfenda and Lobo going to retain the trophy for winners of the MTN Elite One Championship? Talking about more than 5 players of the team suspended, and how will the other team or players be able to fix in that puzzle that has been dismantled in terms of this suspension? And it is with this particular verdict from the disciplinary committee of Faker Foot that we get to round up today's sports updates on the Sport Box on this particular TV channel. But before we take a leave of you, a reminder of the fixtures so far. Mind you, the Southwest Regional League is going to be played tomorrow, and equally the MTN Elite One Championship. So don't forget to pay your ticket and go and entice your eyes with beautiful football. And equally, to say a million thanks to Dave for manipulating the 10,000 bottles, making sure that we are here live and direct every Mondays at exactly 5 p.m. And I had production assistance from Kusona Claudia Voma. Thank you very much equally for assistance, and for presentation it is and it will always be me, Ngunyi Sunita. See you on another edition of the Sport Box on Royal Television. Mind you, do not touch that dial, as in a different we are going to be having news hour on Royal Television. You have a lovely evening. Bye-bye.